Good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Good morning, Heather. Oh, all right. So it feels like winter is she's not done with us yet. She's like, don't forget me. Good morning, everyone. Good to see all right. You. Good morning, Heather. So I've got to turn my own self off because I should probably mute myself. All right. Well, welcome everybody. I am Belinda with Just Be Yoga. What's up, Carrington? Welcome to our weekday home yoga practice live. I'm Belinda, Just Be Yoga, donation based all the time. We've been doing this for about 10 years now. Good morning, Jill. So with the home yoga practice, what I've been trying to share are ways in which you mindfully start to structure a home yoga practice for you. So we are going to have some movement, but I've also been incorporating some aspects of learning about Yoga Sutra, learning about different philosophies and aspects of yoga foundation and history so that you can use those to incorporate that into your daily life. So today, I think I want to just start with a little bit of the logistics. So what kind of stuff do you need? You know, you might need a mat, but if you're at home and you've got a flooring that you like and you feel like you've got good grip or whatever, that's up to you as to whether you want it to be a yoga mat, a rug, a blanket, something that's special to you, something that soothes your soul, something that is a barrier between you and the earth. That was all that it was meant to be if we were outdoors. Some other aspects, blocks. As you'll see, I have different sizes of yoga blocks. So I've got, I call it Big Blue. This is more or less a standard yoga block. That's a cork one. And this is a foam one. These are both the same size, more sturdy, gives you a lot more support. Taller. I use this and give to people who are taller than I am, and I'm only 5 feet tall. And it's also helpful if you are really stiff or restricted in the back and you can't reach down very far. So if you couldn't even reach down that low. So at home, do you need them to be yoga certified equipment that you bought from some company? Nope. You could use a chair. You could use a book. You could use an end table, different sizes. So it's just to be able to give yourself some tools to assist your body in movement and assist your body in stability. One of my new fun toys, I'll bring this up just a little closer. These are yoga egg blocks. Yup, they're so nice. And so they curve, to your back. So if we're lying down on it, they're really yummy. Another thing that they're helpful for is for people who may have wrist issues. And so if you're doing your down dog, you can have your hands on this and it takes pressure out of the wrists. So I don't have two right now, but you could see where here, I don't have all of that pressure and it rocks forward. So these are great as well. Strap or a belt or a towel for a clasp. And then lastly are going to be blankets to make experiences a little more comfortable, especially if we're on our back, maybe rolling onto our back, sometimes cushioning for our knees. So any sort of blanket that's good for you, and pillows of different sizes. Here's what's great though about getting something that's called a bolster, or you can look up yoga pillow or bolster, B-O-L-S-T-E-R. They're really firm, okay? These are really super dense. So they really give a lot of support. All right, there's your yoga props. Today we're going to start in a seated space. And then I'm going to start to talk about our yoga bodies. We have 5 bodies that we get to work with in our yoga. as one physical body isn't enough. So find a way of sitting that's comfortable, maybe using one of those blocks to sit on. You could be crisscross applesauce. You could have your legs wider apart. You could just have your legs out in front of you. So choose comfort, ease and steadiness, sthira sukha. We want to find ease and steadiness in the body that we're in. And we're arriving on our mat today with the intention of practice. So wherever we are in our home, it doesn't have to be absolutely serene, because trying to strive for that serenity or that perfection often blocks us from just being present with what is. And we make creating the perfect yoga room the goal instead of actually doing the practice. So if you're starting to hear things, if there are other people in your home and you're maybe smelling food, try to be at one with everything that you're taking in with your senses, rather than pushing them out. Yoga means to yoke, Y-O-K-E, to come together, to unify. Can we find peace and harmony in all that is, not wishing for something to be a different way? So let's feel the belly and try to relax the tummy. And see if you can bring your mind's eye into your belly. And notice what's restricting you from just letting your flesh hang out. And let the rise and fall of breath encourage you to relax your abdomen and let the breath seep into cracks and crevices. If you're just joining us, I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga, and this is our home yoga practice. And we're just starting with a little check-in of a seated quiet space and abdominal breath. See if you can notice your chin and your jaw and allow some ease there. Remember, ease and steadiness. Now, I like to use my home yoga practice as my first morning practice of kind of checking in. Hey, body. How are we greeting this day? What is still lingering from yesterday in my bones and my flesh? What does my body really want today? What is it already resisting the idea of today? And how might the information that's coming back inform me about how I may want to move in my body today? So just to kind of share and give ideas as well. So my low back is a little tense. Yesterday was a day off for me, but I tend to overdo on the weekends. And so my back is feeling a little tense. So it's telling me I probably want to go slowly on my low back. My neck is feeling like that work, like, oh yeah, I have been worked, but in a good way. So it's feeling a little more limber. My gut is feeling a little hungry. So I'll probably check in on that when we're done with practice. So use a few more breaths to just check in with the physical body. Your feet, your ankles, knees, hips, arms, wrists, neck, core. How are they? And now I'm going to start to think about aspects of some physical moving, but within the framework of our physical body. So I started off by telling you all that we have 5 bodies. They're called koshas, K-O-S-H-A-S. And kosha actually kind of translates to the word sheath, sheath. So as you can see here, this is some poor blended drawing, but these are our layers or the sheaths of our being. And the outer layer is our physical body. That's kind of easy for us to identify with, right? We see it, we feel it, we know we've got skin, we know we've got bones. So we're going to first start our practice bringing attention and connection, awareness, unifying with the physical body and its range of being for its wellness. Underneath of that is the breath body, pranamaya kosha. So if you took a breath in with your eyes closed and you feel that breath tightening up against the inside of your flesh like you inflated a balloon, that whole body volume of breath is a breath body unto itself. We will then go into some breath exercises, feeling out that breath body, looking at the relationship we have with that body. Third is our mental body. Now that is a hot mess, at least it is for me. And then we also check in with our wisdom body and our bliss body. Those are bodies we most likely, I'm not going to speak for all of us, but many of us really have never spent much time cultivating them as bodies that we occupy. All right, so kosha is the name of the game. We're going to start off with our Annamaya kosha, our physical body, what we're most familiar with, and feel out that relationship. We're not here to command our bodies, we're here to talk and communicate with them. So I'm just going to come to standing, feel my feet, and bring some awareness right now in even how I am living in the skin I'm in, how I treated my body to get it there. Remember, relationship with this body. We already started by asking it how it is. Now we're going to see how did I place it to stand and feel this body standing in mountain. How much energy is it taking for this body to lift upward as well as root downward? Because we are working in two directions always. Spreading my toes, building my awareness of my feet and my toes supporting me. I love this aspect of the first time in my practice, just spreading my toes and waking them up. Letting them talk to me. How expressive can they be? What is the range of movement and possibility I could find in my feet and my toes? I'm going to roll onto the pinky edge of my feet. Ooh, I can feel the stretch along the sides of my legs. And I'm just going to do that back and forth. Waking it up. Annamaya kosha, physical body, feeling my feet and my legs. My body, this layer, as an existence unto itself. Now I'm going to come onto the toes. I'm going to let my ankles roll out and in, out and in. Just feeling the wobble, feeling the working. Good. And then I'm going to rock back in my heels and forward. I like to bend my knees as I go, so I just really work the ankles. Helps with the balance too, bending those knees. Good. I'm going to bring my feet together. And this is an exercise that I've done for years in Tai Chi. It's Qigong practice. So knees are together, feet are together. And I'm just going to do some knee circles. Try not to go too far. And just feel and explore, have a conversation with our feet, waking them up. Good morning. Good morning, body. How fluid does it want to be? Change direction. Good. Now I'm going to come up to standing, and now we're starting to come up toward the hips. I'm going to lengthen upward and just let my upper body come forward. I'm going to turn sideways here, let the knees soften, feeling the hinging at the hips, letting my mind's eye come into those hips that hinge, Let the breath touch the areas inside of me, and then I'm going to roll the spine up and just feel, the strength of my body to come up against gravity. Maybe we don't think about that regularly. To lift myself up, I am actually holding myself up against gravity. And now I'm going to offer a few pelvic tilts. So we're going to just tuck the tailbone back and forth. Wake it up. Feeling the muscles now on the core, in the low ab. Maybe bring some awareness into your organs. Hopefully our intestines are about as empty as they can be today. Now I'm going to do a figure 8 with my hips. Nice little figure 8. Just feeling what wants to move. My left side and sacrum are talking to me. And then let's see if we can change direction. This one probably gets a little wonky, right? When we go in that counterclockwise direction, oftentimes that's not the natural direction for some of us. And just feel the body trying to find its way as it's learning new things. Maybe reflect on how often do I ask my body to do things differently or new things. It is a body. It needs to continue to learn and explore and experience. Are we treating it as a being? And now I'm going to come up, breath in, and I'm going to twist in one direction. Now I'm starting to twist from my hips, trying to have my hips aim forward. Feel the twisting from the ribs. Come on back up. So as we feel ourselves coming up in the body, and I'm going to twist in the opposite direction. Breath, pushing the legs down, lifting the chest up, feeling your body hold you. Occupy this physical frame. Breath in and lift. Let's do a gentle side bend. So if you've been following this series, this home yoga practice series here at Just Be Yoga on our Facebook or on our YouTube, come on back up. I have talked about the different ranges of movement to explore, right? Folding, bending, extension, and flexion. And then we'll come on back up, twisting, opening and closing, and now I'm going to forward fold. Feel my back. Up and down my entire spine. Can I feel the effects of gravity on my body? And I'm going to round my spine back up, taking my time and experience that. I want to do that again, breath in, because I realized I really wasn't patient there. So I'm going to go a little slower to roll it up this time. So I got to really pay attention to my intention in the action. So I'm going to curve my tailbone under and start to roll the spine up. Oh, now my back is like, oh, thank you. Because what I did before was a drive-by. And patiently lifting my head last. And the benefit of that is I got to really feel in between my shoulder blades as I came up and recognized, oh, there's some tension there. I should probably give it some loving kindness. So I felt most of my body. Actually, I'm going to work the neck now. Standing tall, come back to the mountain. Find the equilibrium in your pelvic bowl. Try not to stick the butt back or forward. Standing up in the chest. Occupy your physical body. Maybe see your body as that outline that we saw on the drawing of our koshas. I'm going to drop my right ear toward my right shoulder. Now come on back up. I'm going to check and keep those shoulders down. Because oftentimes what happens, we lift the shoulder up to the ear, and we're not really letting the ear come to the shoulder. And that's a distinction in our awareness we get to build and appreciate, not judge, just appreciate. So now I'm going to keep pushing the shoulder down deliberately, and I realize, whoa, that neck really doesn't have much range for me. And I'm going to bring this right hand up by the left ear. Relaxing this left arm. Breath in. Breath out. How much of my own living have I been doing with awareness of this neck? With awareness of anything that's going on in this neck right now? And can I give my neck this time to start to trust me and tell me, oh, I want to hold on to this tension. And you can start a call and response back to yourself, to this area of your body. You don't have to hold that. We can have some balance. Our legs are holding us right now. Now hear the sound of your breath. And as we're here, maybe start to integrate our awareness of our breath body and our physical body, because as we're in this posture, as you breathe, there are times in the breath that you're more aware of certain body parts, right? It amplifies a part of the stretch because you're literally stretching from the inside out. And then for a moment, we look at our mental body and we look at any judgments, questions that are going on in our mind as a result of what the body is saying or doing, or what the breath is saying or doing. Keep standing up in those legs. Don't dump in the low back. I'm going to let that arm go, keeping the neck bent. And then roll the chin down toward the chest. And then come on around to the other side. And then allow my right hand to come up by the left ear. Ooh. Sitting up tall. Feeling standing with the neck bending. Feeling the area of the body and the neck either resisting or fighting, or yielding and surrendering. Trying to connect now to that breath body just in the neck zone. What are we aware of feeling in the physical body as we pay attention to breath in the neck? What does it mean right now for me mentally to just take this time observing an awareness of breath and body? Is there resistance? What is the mental chatter going on? Are we even aware? I'm going to release the arm, keeping the neck bent, and then roll the chin toward the center of the chest, lifting the chin up. Good. Let's breathe in. Exhale, take it forward. Now we're going to become a little bit more dynamic, working a little bit more of kind of the circulatory system, as well as our endocrine system, getting a little heat building, maybe a little sweat. So we felt the bones and the flesh. We've done a little bit of a check-in. Still checking in here, going on to my tippy toes a little bit. Good, and then I'm going to breathe in and lift the chest up, asking the core to hold this unsupported torso that's just hanging like a ledge, and then let the upper body go. Checking in with letting go, and then I'll breathe in and come back up to half flat. Really, this is about, can my spinal muscles, can my core muscles give structure to my body so that it is suspended? Like a suspension bridge, just hanging on its own strength, and then exhale, letting go. So we just alternate between strength and holding and letting go, and feel and experience that inside of our bodies. Breath in and lift. I'm going to have my knees soft here. It protects your low back as we're going. Exhale, let it go. Feel the vertebra in your low back, your mid back, your shoulders, your neck. Check in again on the physical body. How is it? Does it need help in some areas? Does it want more of something, less of something? I'm going to plant my palms down and come back and down to hands and knees, walking my knees back, leaning my chest forward. Breath in. And now I'm going to breathe out as I lower my body to the floor, coming into the earth, feeling my entire body yielding into earth. I'm going to turn my head to one side. and literally let the weight of my body go. Stop holding myself up. Feeling the activity and action of standing in that mountain and fully embodying the inaction of lying here. Are there areas of our body that are still wanting to do something? Use this time when you're at home, when you're developing this practice on your own, and lie here. I'm going to turn my head for some equilibrium. I'm checking in right now on that area in between my shoulder blades that had said it was a little aggravated. And it's actually really enjoying not having to hold me up so much. So it's telling me that area of me does a lot of work, or in a stress reaction, a lot of work, to hold me upright when I'm standing. I'm also going to pay attention a little bit more this week to how much I'm carrying in my packs. So I've been carrying some backpacks with my multimedia gear a lot, and I haven't been carrying backpacks in my life that much, not since college really. So it's made me aware, I should probably lighten that pack. So already my practice, my physical body practice has started to enlighten me, awaken in me, an imbalance or a change in how I've been using my body and how I might want to offer it some equilibrium. I'm going to bring these forearms down, palms are flat. I'm going to press down and lift the chest and tuck the chin down and up and down, just feeling out that neck. It's also talking to me about that area in between my shoulder blades. Now, I'm not going to overdo it, okay, because I don't actually want to create a pull. I'm actually going to start to soften how I'm moving and invite less aggression, trying not to attack an area that's feeling. I'm going to treat it with some loving kindness. I'm going to lower my chest down and reposition my palms. I'm going to do that mindfully, okay? I'm not slamming to try to get anywhere. Bringing my palms here, pinning those elbows in, and just feeling that action in the backs of my arms and my shoulders. My head is lifted a little, so some of my chest muscles have to be working. Remember that suspended ledge. Relax my buttocks. Now I'm going to press up to hands and knees using the core and the arms. I'm just going to lower myself back down and see how patiently I can do it, how controlled I can do it with a smooth breath. I'm going to do that again, okay? So I'm going to pin those elbows. I'm going to use the arm muscles, a little bit of core, and come straight up. And then exhale, keep pinning the elbows, lower myself back down, relaxing the neck. One more time, just seeing, checking in. Can my arms, my chest, and my core lift my upper body? And inhale up, nice and smooth. And get ready for a child's pose. Going to round out my spine a little. I'm going to widen my knees, letting my hips sink back, letting my belly come down in between my knees. Child's pose. Really great for digestion. We've got the belly compressed against the thighs. Let's bring awareness into that respiratory system, feeling your lungs expanding, letting your lungs help palpate the rest of those organs. Start to massage your flesh and your torso with the breath. That is the ventilation system. Now I'm going to bring the knees together and invite a Apanasana or rabbit pose. So it's going to round the spine a bit, but it's going to bring a little bit of pressure to the top of the head. Just feeling my whole body connection. Had my head pointing up that way, so now I'm going to feel my head pointing into another direction. So I'm going to bring my hands to my ankles or heels, bring my head, not my feet, my head down as close to my knees as I can, bringing my head down, starting to lift my hips.
Now I'm going to lift my shoulders up toward the ceiling, try to take that weight off of the neck, breathing in, breathing out. I don't recommend this if you have seizure disorders, if you have any trauma around being confined. Breath. If you have any blood pressure issues, if you have any upper neck disc issues. And then bring ourselves back up. Take a few breaths and observe, feel the body, feel your senses, letting go of that space, maybe feeling a refreshed sense. Now I'm going to get ready for a downward facing dog. Yet again, changing the perspective, head now beneath the heart, just like Apanasana. We're just working the body in different orientations, as well as letting different body parts offer us support. So we're just checking in still. Spread the fingers. How much awareness do we bring into our hands before we come into them? Or do we just kind of flop ourselves? Do we not know where our body weight is? I'm going to lengthen my arms out. And this is going to be the first down dog of our practice here at our home yoga practice. Just Be Yoga here on our Facebook Live and our YouTube Live. So we're going to come up onto our hands and knees. Remember that those palms are spread nice and wide. Maybe shift some weight side to side, feeling weight bearing in those hands. Are they ready? Are segments of your wrists ready to support you? Are segments of each finger, each digit, ready to support us? Maybe we can reflect on a deeper meaning of how relevant that is in our lives right now. How much do we establish to get certain support structures ready? Or do we just take for granted that it's there, right? Oh man, I tried to look for a first aid kit yesterday that I thought that was in the car. So talk about a support structure that I thought that was ready for me, and then boom, it wasn't ready for me. So my physical yoga practice helps me in reflecting on my real life and my real life coming into my yoga practice. So now I've got some weight in those arms. I'm going to tuck the toes and start to lift my butt up and drop my head down for downward facing dog. Oftentimes, first time in, it might feel good to just pedal those heels up and down, checking in on toes, ankles, calf muscles, shins, backs of the kneecaps. Are we jamming in those knees? Remember, ease and steadiness, so we're going to embody that in every aspect of our bodies. Can I tilt the butt up a little bit more? Is that putting too much strain on my shoulders and my neck? Taking a few breaths, connecting to the breath body and how they're working together in conjunction. And then check in on that mental body and tell it is not in charge. But listen for some truths, okay? So if a red alert is going on in your body saying, I need out, I need out, I need out, calm down. And then let's take a breath. Let your orientation come back to head above your heart and above your hips. Restoration and reflection. Static and dynamic. Trying to bring equilibrium and equal and opposite actions. Another down dog if you want. Down dog ends up in my home yoga practice being a home base. That's where I sit in a good amount of time, lengthening my spine, take some of the weight off of my upper body that is often feeling compressed by standing upright, and I'm bearing the weight of the world in them. Also stretching out the backs of the legs and a free breath. If it is uncomfortable for your wrists, maybe practice coming onto the wrists like such, onto your knuckles, or maybe use a block or those egg-shaped blocks that I was talking about. All right, I'm going to come back again, feeling out whether these arms and wrists are ready. I'm going to squeeze the muscles in those arms, nice and sturdy. Tucking the toes, lifting the hips down, dog. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Now just start to explore. You choose a body area. And just ask yourself, what is it doing? What does it need to be doing? Is there a micro change I could make right now? And what do I learn here? What do I explore? What do I experience? Another micro change. So I'm going to change the width of my feet a little. I'm going to squeeze the muscles in my legs. You might want to squeeze the muscles in your arms. Change something. Could you send your chest toward the floor a little bit more? Change something. Remember, if that red alert is going on, come down. I'm going to gradually come on down. I'm going to invite us to come to seated. So what are we looking at? What are we seeing when we're in postures that we're holding for a good bit of time? Looking at the second Yoga Sutra is Yoga's Chitta Vritti Nirodha. And it means yoga creates quietness in our mind, or yoga can help us decrease the chatter in our mind. And, we might have an instant reaction that goes, I want some of that, right? But a key in starting to find your practice is break that down for yourselves, right? This is Home Yoga Practice Live. We're learning how to, what does that mean for me? Because if I tell you what it means for me, that doesn't help you start to decode it for you. So how busy is your mind? Do you even know? And maybe just be in the posture and look at all the different kinds of thoughts that start to beep, 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 and go back and forth in your mind. And that's where journaling in your home yoga practice can also be really important and helpful. Because you can say, wow, over this last week, I noticed that my brain always goes to things that are about planning. Or, whoa, my brain is always looking at stuff that's in the past. Or my brain is constantly trying to fix something. Or my brain is going, what's next? I'm bored. Like, do we even know the content of the chat? So we're starting to now come up into Manamaya Kosha, observing our mind and taking care of the mind stuff. So as we do some of our final asana, our physical yoga practices, physical yoga postures, I'm going to be cueing and talking about that Manamaya Kosha. What are we doing in that mental body, and what are we doing toward the care, nurturing, cleansing, upkeep of the mental body, right? Just like we brush our teeth every day in our physical body, what's that equivalent in our mental body? What's the equivalent of taking our mind out for a walk? What's the equivalent of giving our mind some sleep time? And that doesn't mean always just sleep, right? Maybe we need to turn some of these devices off. What's that equivalent? All right, so I'm going to work on the hips, because in our standing postures, we didn't really work the hips. So I'm coming back down into that mental awareness, honoring this physical temple, Anamaya Kosha, physical body. Now, this is the first time my hips have been this wide. And as I said, I overdid some things this weekend. So I'm actually now going to practice some mindfulness, some loving kindness, and bring those legs in a little bit more. Noticing for myself, and this is bringing into a little bit of my mind chatter, how much my mind has been pushing me over this COVID time, being in front of a camera more, how much I push myself to try to make something look perfect for the camera, right? And that isn't exactly where my body wants to be. It isn't perfect for me and how I'm living in my body, but it's been pushing my mental picture, right? And so now I'm like, okay, mental picture. I've got to accept this body because I live in here. My mind body lives in here. My mind body ain't going nowhere if this body's busted. So I got to take care of this body. And this body's like, thank you, Belinda, for talking to that mental body, because it thinks it's running things all the time.
All right. So I'm going to find a comfortable space in the width of my legs. And I'm going to twist and come forward. Now, you could use your pillow if coming forward, if there's not much range, and allow for some rest. And just let the body go. Now, my body is actually kind of happy in this space, so I'm going to come down and use a folded up blanket because I also just like giving myself some nice soft squishy, reminding me that everything doesn't have to be go, go, go. Feel the physical body responding, sending a soft thought to that area. Feeling a bit of that twist in my spine and my organs. Waking up that awareness with the breath body. Does my breath body have enough room here? Can the breath body inflate itself to make more room? And then look at that mental body right now. What is my mind doing? What is it saying? Is it true? Is it false? And start to bring a practice into just observing the mind. And notice how often do we follow thoughts and then we look back and go, oh man, I went somewhere. Or can we look at the thought itself and just notice it as a thought? Or instead, do we look at the thought and start to try to fix something? Are we judging the thought? What does your mental body do? What patterns are in there? What are some healthy patterns it has? Or is it just untrained altogether? It's not trained at looking at itself for the sake of looking at itself. So let's just look into the display case of, oh, hey, what are you doing, mind? Kind of like watching ants on an anthill. And bring that fascination, not a judgment. And I'm going to bring myself up. And as I come up, I realize, oh, that was nice. This other side of my back got to have a nice amount of time, just slowly letting go with no expectations of it. Because I just kind of said, okay, gravity, you got me. And I'm going to come on over to the other side. So I've got my blanket. Oh, sitting upright for a bit in the twist. A few breaths in this twist. I noticed a couple of muscles were super duper gripping, not accepting. Acceptance is an aspect of the yoga limbs, santosha. Was I living that santosha, or was I going, gimme, 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 or I want to go, go, go? Now I'm going to, oh yeah, and this side said, you know what, where's that pillow? So this side is different, right? It's kind of like I got two kids, right? I got two legs, I got two kids. And so on this side, this kid is like, I like pillows more. Okay, can I love that? The beauty of creating this home yoga practice is that you can just spend the time in it. Let it reveal itself to you. So this side, I'm already feeling other arguments. A little spot in my neck, a little spot on my lower right abs. Behind that right knee. It's subtle, but it's there. Oh, I just finally let my ankles go. Hadn't realized I was holding them. Cultivate some time with my breath body and say, hey, breath body, are you able to stretch and expand here? And what do I need to do to loosen the muscles and the flesh and the physical body? To let that breath body inflate. Let my breath body be all that it can be. Extend that breath body sensation up into my neck, all the way down into my toes. And notice when my mental body interfered, because my mental body did jump in there for a red hot second and said, breath can't go into your toes. And I just had to go, okay, no, hush up. My breath body's doing what it wants to do. And then you go, okay, mental body. I wasn't saying shut up forever. And now just go ahead and just take a peek and let mental body run around. And sometimes, and like this morning right now, my mental body definitely feels like a 3-year-old running around in the room. And this, and this, and this, and this. It's like, okay, come on, mental body. Yes, show me all the things. But I'm still just going to sit here. Yes, you're right. We shouldn't have done that thing the other day. Let's just be right here. And then I start to feel my mental body and feel the effects of it having permission to finally slow down, because I didn't immediately tell it to shut up. And I'm going to bring myself up. So again, giving yourself the time to spend some time. Notice, ask yourselves, how often have you wondered, like, oh, how much should I do? This practice, this home yoga, this self-personal practice that you're cultivating is allowing you to turn that gaze into the physical body and say, how much time do you need today? Hey, hips, how much time do you need today? What movements do you need today? Hey, spine, what do you need? Hey, breath, have you had your fullest expression of yourself? Hey, mind, what are you doing? Oh, you probably need to account for a little bit of time because your mind's like, well, let me tell you, right? All right, I'm going to bring the bottoms of my feet together and come into a Apanasana. Because for me, if my hips aren't starting to explore its fullest range, the rest of me can start to really get bunched up and angry. So that's me knowing the relationship that I have set in my body and my hips. As you notice, I'm just kind of rocking back and forth. I'm just kind of saying, hey, how you doing? Getting to know you. I'm not trying to go into it immediately. You could be doing twists. You could be doing whatever. I'm also hearing a little clicky click. And so I'm just listening to that because that's new. And it's like, oh, Lord, am I breaking up? All right, I'm going to breathe in and lift the chest. Exhale, bringing the chin and the chest forward and roll the spine up. But I'm still going to keep a little aspect of that fluid movement, not putting huge demands for a long hold in my spine and my hips and my inner thighs. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. I'm going to hold here now. Feeling my back talking to me, most definitely. So I'm going to greet it with some kindness. No, that means I'm going to back it up a little bit. And then it said, okay, you didn't have to back up that far. We could probably move and lengthen a little bit more. And let that length in. Not forcing it though. It's just a slow, like, oh, do you wanna? And it's like, maybe. And so, do you want a little bit more now? And it said, oh, okay, I can let go here. I'm like, okay, I've got all day. I'm not gonna push you. And my body's like, okay, thank you. Thank you for not pushing me. And then bring myself up. So we talked a little bit about today in our home yoga practice live, a little bit about our 5 bodies, and we've gone through our physical body a little bit and how to move in it and establish that relationship. Pranamaya kosha, the breath body. How big and expansive can our breath body be? What is the capacity of our breath body inside of the confines of this physical body? And do we know? Have we explored it? Mental body, hey, what's the jabber jabber going on inside of there? Give it the time to run around before we ask it to be still. I'm going to start to come down to some lying down spaces. I'm going to grab my block that I have with me. Really haven't done any back bending, so I've talked about finding equal and opposite ranges of movement. And so I definitely I've been bending forward a lot. I'd like to give a little bit to the other direction, and that bridge or that back bend is a nice way for the other direction. Now, this is the first time that I've laid with my gaze going up, and the rest of my body is rooted down with its back on the floor. I've got my knees bent, saving my low back. My low back is a little achy today, so I'm going to honor that. You could have your legs straight if you prefer. I'm just going to start to talk a little bit about the other two bodies. So that next layer or sheath, like we're getting into an onion, is our Vijnana Maya Kosha, our wisdom body. So as we're laying here, let your eyes remain open and look up and invite vision and seeing the world from this viewpoint, seeing the world from below. And letting that heavenly space be aiming straight down into us from on high. Wisdom. And can we feel it as a body inside of us? That inner knowing. How do we grow that body? Where is that body inside of us? Is it in our knee? Is it in our shoulder? Do we even believe that it's there? Or are you like, oh God, Belinda's talking about some, yoga hocus pocus stuff. But if our wisdom had a body, how big would we want it to be inside of us? How much space would we want it to occupy? And could we grow it and tend to it just like we tend to our physical body? I'm going to grab my block now, walking those feet in. I'm going to lift my hips and let my hips rest on the block. And just let my weight sink down. So today's yoga practice, this home yoga practice, has been about our 5 bodies and building our physical practice and our breath practice and building awareness around it. We talked a little bit about the equipment that we need for our practice, a lot about our mindset and giving ourselves permission to start exploring and asking these questions of ourselves. Creating a space of negotiation and conversation with now 4 bodies. What's our wisdom body telling us right now? What does it really want? What wisdom about our mind and how we walk in the world is being revealed right now? What wisdom about how we treat ourselves, how we treat others is becoming apparent. What wisdom about contentment and enough is seeping in here? What's the relationship my physical body has with my wisdom body, or are they completely disconnected? There's vulnerability that comes with wisdom. There's trust that has to come with wisdom. Breathe into the belly. That breath body has to work with that wisdom. Let that breath help you saturate that wisdom into your physical body. If only to let us remember to listen to the body, to listen to the wisdom of the body. That's enough to start.
Now I'm going to lift my hips and ease that block out from under me. I'm going to bring the knees in, maybe rock and roll, just massage. Let's come into that wisdom, feel that wisdom. Notice that mental body and its connection to breath and physical body and wisdom. Our wisdom needs our mind. Our wisdom needs our mind to help us articulate, writing down and speaking to others the wisdom that we learn. And we'll gradually come on up to sitting. I'm going to invite us to find our closing space here on our home yoga practice live at Just Be Yoga Facebook and YouTube, to close with that inner body, that last one, the center core of our sheath, Anandamaya Kosha. And that is our bliss body. So find a way of sitting. Maybe have your back against the wall for some support, or up against your sofa, something that can give you support. It's wonderful. Letting that wisdom body come in too, to kind of say, oh, there's an easier way. I don't have to struggle and fight so much, especially if your body said, oh, sitting upright is so much work. Listen. There's a time for working, and there's a time for ease, and there's a time for bliss and contentment. And tell your body it doesn't have to always be doing. Nor are we using this practice as a form of punishment. You gotta do this because you've been lazy or whatever. And let that bliss body, that just being body, that glow of light from the cosmos, where is that body? Maybe your eyes are closed. Gaze is within. We know what the mental body is doing, or at least we've built a little bit of a relationship. We know what the breath body is doing. We're honoring where that physical body can be with ease. And we're spending time checking in with bliss. What is our bliss? How much time have we spent with it? Cultivating it, encouraging it, and nourishing it. Our bliss isn't outside of us, it's within us. And it has a body just like our physical body, and it requires and deserves our loving kindness and our attention, to give it rest, to give it strength and stimulation. And feel your bliss touch your wisdom and your mind and your breath and your physicality. And then let that physicality give body to our breath and our mind and our wisdom and our bliss, so that others can see it. Hands to the heart center if you wish to join. Single Om. Om. Deep bow of gratitude to all of you. Thank you for joining. See you soon. Namaste.